The final Sunday before Valentine's Half Month 6, which is coming this week, I've decided to go back to this show because even though there is one episode that is Valentine's related, which is Video Date, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like it, and in comparison to this one is the better episode to review over that. And it's the fact that the episode itself has stakes to it, which for me personally, this episode was originally part of my plans on reviewing of We Bear Bears month back in 2021, but as always, it got the axe, no pun intended, from Ice Bear, so better late than never to talk about this episode today. Panda is reading his novels and comics of Dr. Ocelot, which is a parody of Indiana Jones for the most part, and he doesn't have Volume 1 since that he lost it 2 years ago, or misplaced it by putting it in the shelves or somewhere around the house. And then under his bed, there was a tunnel that he couldn't believe, all the while that the entire house itself is sinking. When they go inside the tunnel, there are multiple tunnels, to the point that it's mostly a maze. And the more they go through the tunnels, they see drawings of fan art on the cave's walls. Yeah, apparently Panda isn't the only one who enjoys Dr. Ocelot. Moles are fans of Dr. Ocelot, which is why they have Volume 1 of where Panda couldn't be able to find it, since it was underground. What makes me appreciate this episode is the fact that we actually get to see more of what this show is capable of, especially in Season 3, and with this episode in particular, it will showcase that they can actually have moles be mostly harmless characters, and yet at the same time it leads to creative directions, mainly of how this episode is executed to when it comes to his writing. Believe me when I say this, Dr. Ocelot, when I say is mostly Indiana Jones, it's mainly the fact that she went through a running boulder, which is what Panda and Grizz went through, and the fact that, well, since I said mostly Indiana Jones, Dr. Ocelot uses a sword, which Indiana Jones does use a sword, but not the sword that Dr. Ocelot uses in the comics. And for me personally, the house sinking is honestly a lot more important in comparison to how they tried to keep the house safe from being taken down in Season 1, which for me personally, in comparison, they really wanted to make this whole tunnels thing a major factor, and it's really a shame that with good episodes like this, we never get to see the malls or these characters for what they could have done with these types of plots. The episode centering around Panda and Grizz for the most part, where Panda is obsessed with Dr. Ocelot. To tell you the truth, with more ideals of what this show is capable of, in the fact that other shows like Steven Universe and The Loud House gets attention when it comes to his characters, there was a reason onto why I always included We Bear Bears as the show that has so much memorable characters. Mainly the fact that they actually make them likable and the fact that they're actually willing to make a good impression, similar to the characters from The Loud House in Steven Universe and My Little Pony. The moles are perfect examples of memorable characters despite only appearing towards the end. Believe me, with this show focusing on animals for the most part when it comes to Wager Tapes episodes, I felt like that the moles themselves, when they have justifiable reasons onto finding more comments that belong to Panda, they just couldn't resist. Like, if they're that interested into reading a manga just as Panda, then Panda isn't alone. And this would have included more direction involving Panda's character when it comes to the characters that he interacts, mainly Lucy and Tom. And let's be real, even though that Dr. Ocelot isn't a real-life character in the world of We Bear Bears, she still gave off a memorable impression, considering that the first time I watched this episode, it's difficult to take this show seriously with these characters being this likable. Granted, there were a few occasions where characters would be stupid, but at the same time, I do not critique that much unless if it goes too far. Which is a shame considering that Panta's character would have been improved a lot more, and even though I'm fully aware that he has a poster of Dr. Ocelot in a bathing suit, keep in mind, I felt like that whenever when he actually has center stage in these episodes, he's actually a really likable character. He's willing to sacrifice his books for not only for his home, but also the morals themselves. If anything, it kind of shows that he has character growth as the series progressed. And even though I understand you won't be able to make it this far if you binge watch this show and you mostly give up towards the first and second season, you can't deny that he doesn't have good episodes. If there's one thing that can defend Panta's character, is the fact that he has good episodes no matter what, just like Grizz and Ice Bear. It's refreshing to finally review a good episode from this show, considering that there was a lot more to talk about from this show that I haven't, but this year just isn't the year. Maybe next time when I have the chance. I'm giving this episode an 8.5 out of 10.